Way back in 2014, Panama, USA, witnessed a rather peculiar case of the disappearance of two women travelers, whose brutally destroyed bones were discovered days later. We are talking about the terrifying incident of Lisanne Froon and Kris Kremers, who vanished into thin air and were never found later. It was a fine April month, just suitable for travel and vacation, when Lisanne and Kris, two girls from Randstad, Netherlands, decided to visit Panama and Central America. Both of them were just students from Amersfoort who had planned to travel work vacation to spend time in the Panamanian mountains. Around the end of March 2014, they reached the place with a fully worked out schedule, planned with adventurous hiking and trekking activities, along with volunteering jobs to help the local kids with their studies. According to the local reports, they stayed with a local family in Panama who have offered them food and a bed. It was all good till April 1st, when at 11 a.m. that day, both Kris and Lisanne left with their host dog to go on a trek around the Panamanian mountains. It was late at night and the host waited for long, but the women didn't turn up. Panic struck when the dog returned alone. The family decided to wait till the next day, but soon had to take action when the travel guide contacted them in the morning, asking about the missing girls. The local police authorities searched on foot and used drones for 4 long days, but couldn't track them. The tiresome search dragged up to mid-June, but nothing about the vanished women came up. It was quite peculiar when one day a farmer woman turned up to the Panamanian host's house with a backpack, possibly belonging to one of the lost girls. Surprisingly, it turned out to be Lisanne's bag with her passport, water bottle, camera, $83 in notes, and 2 pairs of undergarments. Oddly, the bag also contained both the women's mobile phones, but with their batteries already drained off. The woman stated that she had gotten the bag in her paddy field near the river. When the police had all the visible evidence right in front of their eyes, while they checked the phone logs, they were taken aback to find more than 77 attempts of emergency calls. After clearly searching through the call records and the phone's usage, they found that Kremers had tried contacting the emergency numbers from April 1st, the day of the hike itself. Apparently, she tried to contact 112, the Netherlands emergency number, and 911, the Panama emergency number, for 4 continuous days. What was even more suspicious was that someone had tried to unlock her mobile on April 6, but it ended up with several failed attempts. This call log was surely enough to terrify the police and the girls' families. Froon's camera contained even more devastating evidence that could clearly state why the lost woman frantically tried to contact the emergency services. The initial photos taken on April 1st had happy faces, going on a trek, which abruptly jumped to April 8th with a horrific twist. The new folder of April 8th contained nighttime photos showing their belongings neatly spread on the ground. The police could see plastic bags, food packets, a mirror, and suspicious piles of dirt. The last picture sent shivers down everyone's spines. The last picture was of Kris, whose head was bleeding. What would you do if you found such intriguing evidence? Of course, the authorities did the same, and they wasted no time investigating the exact place where the lady discovered the backpack. They found Kremers' clothes folded and kept properly along the riverside, but couldn't get anything else. Suspicious of the appearance of the clothes and why no other person found them, the team kept track with regular investigations. In August, around 2 months after the evidence examination, they found a pelvic bone and a boot with an amputated foot still inside. Later examination showed that these were no doubt Lisanne Froon's remains. As the evidence emerged slowly, the authorities came back for regular stakeouts. It took no longer than a month, but they soon found the bodies of both the women near the riverside. Since they finally found the brutally attacked bodies, they started forensic examinations on both. Froon's body seemed to have been naturally decayed with flesh still stuck to her bones, but Kremers' body revealed something terrible. Her bones were clean, bleached, and were stark white, clearly indicating some gruesome act. The authorities and detectives couldn't possibly draw any conclusions from this limited evidence, and they couldn't find any others. To this day, nobody can explain what really happened to those two merry women, and what the blood-curdling evidence actually suggested.